Hello, what are you doing? Not much. Holding my back. Yeah, Lonnie.
Californian Wayne Bennett, 6th in point standings coming into this one. Do you like coming from that vantage point, or would you rather be the top gun right now?
Oh, I'd definitely rather be the top gun. We were running pretty decent, and we had a little problem down in Phoenix a couple weeks ago that put us a little bit back, so we'll just have to come on strong tonight and try and make up for it.
What's the story on this car?
This car belongs to Cal Landis. It's a good friend of ours. I've driven for Cal before out of Phoenix, and the engine is built by Fast Eddie Engines in Phoenix. And guys, I've raced when I won a championship in '77 and 1980. Fast Eddie built our engines, and when Cal was starting to get running sprint cars a little bit, I started driving for him. We won a couple races together, and it's just sort of been a happy family, a little reunion every once in a while. We can all get together and run together.
How quick is it for you from the cockpit to control the angle on these wings? And if you could, give us a little layman's explanation of that hydraulic setup that you use.
Well, the hydraulic wing system is set up on the car. It runs off of the power steering system. There's a three-way valve in the cockpit that sits to the left of the steering wheel. And as you're running at speeds, if you want the car to be a little hooked up a little tighter and get a little more forward and start running a little faster down the straightaways to build straightaway speed, you just pull back on the lever, and with the 2800 psi that's going through the power steering system, it works just like a hydraulic jack. You pull back on the valve, shoves the wing back, puts more angle on the back of the wing, which pushes down on the back of the car and makes your straightaway speeds faster.
Easily done, quickly done?
Oh yeah, it's real easy. I mean, you just hit it with your finger and it'll move a couple inches real easy.
Competitively, what do we see in the way of engines in tonight's field of, let's say, we wind up with 30, again, in layman's terms? What are we talking about power-wise in these?
The aluminum motors put out right now between the Rodex and the Donovans are between 690 and 710 horsepower. They put out between 585 to 610 foot-pounds of torque. Dollar-wise, you're looking at a steel motor, which runs about $15,000, up to your aluminum motors, which run about $20,000. And I would say the majority of your field here tonight will be probably aluminum motors, which run in a value of $18,000 to $20,000.
Incredible. Something's always intrigued me about you all season long, and with Dave Maness's permission, I'd like to take it just an extra moment here to delve into it. From the family standpoint, both you and Denise do your thing in race cars a great deal of your free time. Does that help from a marital standpoint, or does it provide an extra hurdle that maybe in the long run makes the marriage that much stronger?
Well, I think from my past experience, and I think I can speak for Denise also, somebody that was to get married and they both raced, it would probably be a little bit tougher than it is for our situation. We met each other when we were 8 years old. We raced quarter midgets when we were kids. Our boy Steven, who's now 10 or 11, he races quarter midgets. And so with us being kids, being brought up through life with the racing around us 90% of the time, I think it's made it a heck of a lot easier on both of us. We try to help each other best we can. If there's faults that I'm doing or she's doing, we express it to each other. We work on it to try and achieve our goals and try to win races. I mean, that's what we're here for, is to win, and whatever we got to do it, that's what we're going to do.
Can you crank out a win here tonight? Give me something besides, of course.
Well, the competition's pretty good right here, and I'm a little bit down on myself for the past 2 races that I haven't won one, to be honest with you. I'm not trying to brag or be conceited, but the car and the engine, the crew, and everybody here is well capable of doing it. All I got to do is just get my act together and win it.
Good luck.
Thank you very much.
Appreciate your extra time and thoughts with us.
You
sir.
bet. Anytime. Thank you.
Looks like Gary Bradley of Las Cruces coming in here in 4th place point standings. How does that make you feel at the start of a competition such as tonight?
Oh, that makes us feel pretty good. We fell out of our last main event, which we'd really been up front. You know, that's the way it goes sometimes.
What do you do when you're not racing?
Oh, I own a shop. We work on cars, and we got a towing service. Work on a race car. That's about it.
What's your perception of Raven Raceway here in its inaugural season, especially making the trek over from New Mexico?
Oh, I like it because it's not as far as Phoenix, and plus it's a wide racetrack, a fast racetrack. Last time I raced here, I had a real good time.
What about your competition tonight? You alluded to it earlier. What about Wayne Bennett over here, for example, in Fast Eddie's number 71? Is he going to be one of your prime guns, you suppose?
Yeah, probably. The main competition, the one I'm concerned with, is Griffin, and Bennett's always fast. So is Randy Roberts and Billy Boat. Shit, you know, you never know who's going to be fast tonight. Just hope we're there, you know.
Can you define or describe the difference, in your opinion, between a wing driver and let's say, a midget man?
Oh, it'd really be hard. As far as driving one of these cars with a wing on it, it's a little bit easier, but it hooks the car up, so you really got to drive the car hard. As far as a midget, I wouldn't know because I've never drove one.
Any desire to?
Oh, I'd love to try it sometime, sure.
How about Indianapolis Championship? Would that ever be in your plan?
Yeah, I'd rather really drive Grand National cars, but I wouldn't mind an Indy car. I think they'd probably be a handful.
Best of luck to you, and thanks for bringing over that Las Cruces personality this year.
Well, I hope we can see you again next year.
We've enjoyed your runs so far.
I've had a good
Breaker
time.
tonight.
All right.
Buddy Nelson, one of our Tucson midget men. It's been an experience here in 87, hasn't it, buddy?
Yeah, a very bad experience.
What you going to turn it around with in 88? You've got a new engine here. Obviously, you're doing some testing, sitting here next to the Wayne Bennett Fast Eddie machine tonight. Are we already thinking 1988?
Oh yeah, we're gonna try it again next year and hope for the best. We've had some real bad luck with engines this year, and hopefully this engine will turn us around and we'll start doing something.
Now, you work construction during the week, you come racing on the weekend. I would think that combination of jobs would really take its toll physically on you.
Yeah, it does, but I enjoy what I'm doing, so that, you know, it makes up for it in that way.
$10,000 for one of these babies, I understand. These new engines, these new Aries engines. Is it worth it?
Well, I hope so. We only got one race on it. We had a few problems. We're going to try to work them out, and hopefully this will be a good deal for us.
From the standpoint of pure driving, what was the biggest thing you learned in 87 that you would improve upon in 88?
Working on the motor, I'd say. That's about it. I really haven't got to drive very much this year. We went to Denver, Colorado, and Belleville. We won a heat race, a national USAC heat race in Denver. I was real proud of that, you know. We did good there. I just hope it turns around for next year, you know. We do a little bit better next year.
Buddy, I think I speak on behalf of a lot of people. I thank you, your brother Doug, your pop for helping to make it all possible, and I'm sure on behalf of Dave and Linda Manus for helping make this track what it is. And I, for one, am looking forward to, I hope, a phenomenal 88 campaign for you. And down the road, ultimately, what is it for you?
Well, I'd like to drive sprint cars. I've been getting into a little road racing with Formula Fords. I just like to keep moving up if I could, you know. If I'm good enough to do it, I go. If I don't, well, I tried, you know. That's about it.
Best of luck to you, buddy.
Thank you.
Thank you.
This is the regular drivers in the Chargers. The regular drivers in the Chargers.
Chargers here, these are our local disc jockeys, you know, Tom?
Look at that wrist action on Teresa Blythe, would you?
She's getting her heart into it now. George is telling her, wave that thing, right?
Who are these guys? Well, we've got Larry Miles in the NASCAR Charger number 7. Larry from KLPX, 96 Brock, I think they also call it. One of our bar stars is here tonight.
Well, Justin Ireland, we brought him back because I'll tell you why, he was such a good sport on that night. We had that Bar Wars night. His car broke, and he was so excited. He's been so pumped up on doing this. These guys have a lot of fun. They're beginners. We're going to get ready and go down there. Tom, you can take over. I'm going to go down. We're going to do the national anthem, and we're careless down here tonight, so we got to use our tape.
Well, let me get it queued up then. Boy, this could be another perfect mistake.
And, yeah.
Now you pick up on that.
I almost forgot that one. But these guys, we'll get them announced down the front straightaway, and the sprint cars are lining up over there. They're ready to go. The field's set, so we'll get the program on the way and enjoy it. If Bob Swenson from El Paso track promoter, if you are in the area, would you please come up to the front gate? Bob Swenson, El Paso. Thank you.
Thank you, Dave. We've also got another page to the front gate for Eva Burt. If you missed it earlier, Eva, head to our front gate immediately, please. We need to see you up there. And if you are in the stands right now, what I do with my little slip of paper here, we have, I had a guy, David Norgard, Donald Norgard. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give him a warm welcome tonight. He's been humping behind the scenes all evening, and now he's about to kick off his evening program for you, a dandy Tri-State Sprint Championship. Here he is, Mr. Raven Raceway. Wasn't it nice to see him do his own thing in his own race car last week? Dave Maness.
Okay, we're going to get ready to go here. We got Jack Jacobs here who's going to do a real quick rundown on who we got involved here. We want to thank the radio stations, the people involved in this. They've really helped promote this event. Got a couple people I want to introduce to you. If Bob Swenson is here from El Paso, Bob, if you are here, would you please come down the front straightaway? Where's Jack? Oh, right here. Didn't even recognize you. You got a suit on. Okay, take it away, Jack.
Thank you, Dave, and thank all these guys for coming today. Who do we have here? None other than from KLPX, Rick Allen. How do you feel tonight, Rick?
I want to come up there and drink beer. If my pants keep from, if my pants don't fall down, we're gonna go after him tonight. We got the top points car. KLPX morning show. Crank on it.
Okay, and a good supporter of Raven Raceway from the Music Box Lounge where they play the 50s and 60s, and also a co-sponsor of our Charger race tonight, donating a nice sum of money for the Charger guys, Richard Dominic from the Music Box.
Be a victory party after the race at my place.
22nd and Cold, right? Okay. And our own cameraman also working at KLPX and KTKT, the winner of the last celebrity race, and Charlie, I'm taking that baby home tonight. He's had it, he's slept with it, he's put it on his mantle, he's took it to the bathroom, Charlie Clayton.
Thank you very much, Jack. Like I told you on the radio show this morning, I'm going to blow right by you.
Thank you very much, Charlie. We will see.
Okay, do you have that poem too? A treat for the crowd, I understand.
We'll talk to him about it a little bit later. This guy here, you can't say enough about this guy. You can see him hanging around Tucson McGraw's at the top of the hill. From the Fair Commission, hey, this is my teammate tonight, Jack Murphy.
Thank you, Jack. And as you know, we've been instructed by Mr. Maness that that trophy cannot leave the property here. It has to stay here for till the next season. So we'll have it here. And we have already got a building going up and everything for it.
Okay, great. And that's not the outhouse. Hey, this guy right here, we can't say enough about. If you remember, he came out and raced in the Bar War race and had a little mechanical problem. He didn't get the race, and we put him in the infield, and we invited him back for this one from Ireland's Post-Time Pub at Golf Links in Craycroft, Justin, Ireland.
Yeah, let's hear it. We're going to win this race because my trophy shelf has a nice spot for that. You can all come down and look at it later. Thank you.
Wait a minute, Richard said the victory party's over there. You say it's over here. It's going to be right here at the bottomless beer well with Jack Murphy and Jack Jacobs at the end. Here's the program director over at KLPX, and what a fellow this guy is, doing just a heck of a job over there this year. Larry Mile.
Thank you. Fortunately, the last time we did the celebrity race, they stuck me in the back of the pack. Tonight, I got fortunate. I'm on the pole, so watch car number 7, gang, okay?
Okay, Larry Mile. We also want to thank Subway Sandwiches, and they donated half the purse tonight for the Charger race, our regular Charger heat race. So, gentlemen, after the national anthem, get in your cars and we'll start the engine.
We're going to let these guys go ahead. We're going to get one picture. All of you line up. How about a nice round of applause for all these guys? They did a lot to promote racing.
What about me, Porky? Nobody can interview me?
Well, last time we interviewed you, you was on the hook, and you had to go to the pits because you only got a lap and a half in, so we don't need to talk to you. We're going to move over here. They're going to take a picture. They're going to get ready. These two gentlemen here are representing 2 of the speedways that were involved in this tri-state deal. First, I'm going to talk to Tommy Black here. Excuse me, Woody. Tommy Black has Vasila Raceway in Las Cruces, Vasila Valley, which is a super little racetrack over in the Las Cruces area. For anybody that's here from New Mexico, we welcome you and thank you for coming over. Tommy, you had a good show the first one, and now we're down to the final tonight. We got about 6 guys, looks like, can take on that big check.
Well, thank you, Dave. Yeah, it's looking real good here. All the boys are here. It looks like they're all dialed in, and I wish them a good old safe, happy trip to the victory here. But they all look like they're going to go good tonight.
Well, we got a good mixed field. We got lots, got them from El Paso, Texas, Colorado, Randy Roberts, and a bunch of them. So somebody's going to take home all the bacon. This guy here, Woody, I've been around this gentleman for many, many years. He's been a fantastic help to Manzanita Speedway in Phoenix, Arizona. I'm glad to have him down here tonight. He's heard about the racetrack. Woody, what do you think so far?
It's nice.
It's nice. It's not like you had a frog down there.
Hey, Dave, if Keith Hall knew that you were introducing me as his personal representative down here, he'd have an attack right on the spot.
Well, I don't see him down here, so I don't know. How many people's here from Phoenix tonight? Thank you for coming. Thank you a whole bunch. We're going to do our national anthem, and then we're going to get some serious racing going on here. Linda, if you'll come on down. Unfortunately, we don't have Carolyn tonight. For all of you know who's Carolyn is, but we have her on tape. So if everybody please stand, take your hats off. We do like that. We have 2 flags. The American flag. We also have the American POW and MIA flag on the other towers. So take it away, Tom. Okay, we're going to roll them down here. As soon as they get this done, we're going to present the trophy. This is 8 laps, Tom, so you can take it over.
Thank you, Dave Maness, Linda too. Nice rig, dear. And celebrities all set to crank it up for you. Larry Miles, again, from 96 Rock in car number 7. His counterpart, Rick Allen, in car number 15. Richard Dominic in Lucky Larry's car, the 77 machine. Mr. Dominic representing the Music Box Lounge. Post Time Pub represented in that 777 car with Justin Ireland at the wheel. Charlie Clayton, your defending celebrity champion from KTKT in the #1 machine. Charlie also our track photographer here. Our track announcer, Jack Jacobs, in the Raven-sponsored Ron Bishop #98 machine, and Jack Murphy from the Fair Commission in the 02 machine, also sponsored by, of course, Raven Raceway and your Pima County fair folk. Again, happy birthday to Kimberly Isaacson. Turned 11 today, visiting us tonight from White Sand Missile Range, New Mexico. Good to have you here tonight, Kimberly, and we sincerely hope it's a happy birthday. We'll be seeing these Chargers under the guise of their own owner-operators a little bit later on this evening in a 15-lap Charger race coming up. But as Dave said, this one is an 8-lap run. Woody, if you got your voice back and you're so inclined, anytime I want you to feel free, pull up a bar stool here and throw the headset on, we'll go after it. Also, we did not formally introduce her at the time we did the drivers, so ladies and gentlemen, if you would, let's give a warm round of applause to that lady up there in the flagman starter stand in the Budweiser jacket, over from KNST tonight, Teresa Blythe. And KR2Q too, and her husband in attendance tonight. Good to have him here, a recent movie to our valley from Baltimore, Maryland. And here we go with the green flag waving, and Larry Miles serving notice, just like he did before the race began, that keep an eye on #7. He's in the pole position here tonight, the opposite end of the spectrum from where he was the last time he came out racing. Justin Ireland running second here in the early on of this one, an 8-lapper in the 777 machine. Richard Dominic behind the wheel of the 77 car in 3rd place. Also started 3rd, and Jack Jacobs has moved that Ron Bishop 98 machine up to 4th place here in the first lap of action. Right there he goes, dialing in #77, Richard Dominic. A good buddy of his from the Music Box Lounge tonight. So let's see if Jack can go get his guy caught and not take it into the wall, as he did another time out here, and ever since then he's been known as Jack in the Wall Jacobs. Used to be 2-lap back Jack, but not anymore. He almost found that magnet again up there in turn 3. Ron Bishop probably rolling over right about now, saying, why did I do this again? Got one astray back there, and Rick Allen from 96 Rock losing it in the Pennington machine, but like Jack Jacobs, able to walk away from it, so as to speak, under his own power. In the meantime, Larry Miles here in #7, bringing it down off of 4, continuing not only on in the lead, but increasing his lead right now. Larry Miles from 96 Rock with Justin Ireland in that 777 car in 2nd place, even though it doesn't look like it. Jack Jacobs in 98 there, trying to close it up in the Ron Bishop machine. These guys are amazingly running a very clean race. Only 2 skirmishes with danger, as it were. And just as soon as I say that, the 2nd place car of Justin Ireland gets in trouble down in turn 4, but he's able to keep it under relative control and get it right back out into the fray. But let's see how much he loses. He's lost 2 positions right off the bat, but still some time if he's quick to get it caught up. We roll into lap 5 now with Larry Miles living up to his pre-race word and looking awfully dominating right now, with a big lead build up on the entirety of the rest of the field. Woody, you sure you wouldn't want to get involved in one of these?
Yes, I am sure. Thanks anyway, Tom.
I didn't even notice any hesitation in the voice. I'd love to get out there and do it.
These guys are doing a good job. Hey, maybe let's talk to Dave. Maybe we can have you out there next time.
Not next time. I've got to wait for clearance to go do it, and I'll tell you, it's been frustrating all season long to know that that was going to be the case. But not so for Mr. Jacobs, and it's been an experience watching him this season. A lot of folks don't know it, Woody, but did some racing years ago back in Santa Fe. As Teresa Blythe brings out the white flag, 1 lap to go. And did you see anybody catching Larry Miles in number 7?
No, we've got a pretty good race going for second with the 77 car, number 1 and 777, but they're having their own private battle because the 7th car that's in first place is coming up to put a lap on them.
That he is, and it'll be checkered flag time for the number 7 machine. But to their credit, oh boy, he's happy. Taking his cool off lap now, having waved his appreciation to the crowd. And when he comes around again, well, the crowd can send its appreciation back to Larry Miles from 96 Rock, who has kept that tall trophy. You ever seen a trophy that size for a celebrity event?
Nice trophy. Yeah, they're still racing for second place. Car 77 just going to beat out the car 1.
Not
for
by
second
a whole
place.
lot. But Richard Dominic hangs in there for a second place finish in the lucky Larry Davis machine. And Charlie Clayton, who had it all his own way the last time these celebrities got together, winds up taking 3rd place in this one. I'm just happy to see Jack Murphy in the Todd Izzo car, the 02 machine, finish this thing and get out of here safely. Because those guys at the Fair Commission we want to keep on our side.
That's true.
Jack in Ron Bishop's car. Ron, you can open your eyes now. He didn't take it off the wall tonight. It's coming back in one piece, and if anybody's going to be allowed to mess it up real good tonight, you as the owner-operator of that rig can do so. Well, let's let him hear our appreciation. He can hear you right now behind the wheel of that number 7 machine. Larry Miles from KLPX, one of the Lotus broadcast group stations, and of course known as 96 Rock here in our town. And down front and center we go to Dave Maness for our gigantic, isn't it, industrial strength trophy presentation.
All right, how about it? 1 round of applause. Larry Miles, KLPX. All right. One thing about it, you did what you said you was going to do. You didn't look back, you stood on the gas, and you just kind of left them all back there.
Well, I'll tell you what, I think I owe a lot to the car owner, Colin, and his crew member, and the fact that this car is set up exactly for this muddy track. This thing is a soup bowl out here, gang. You have no idea what this is like unless you grew up back east, and there's about 4 inches of snow on the ground. That's what it's like driving out here. Thanks much. This is a hell of a lot of fun.
Well, we're glad to have you here. Here's your trophy. Give the trophy girl a nice big kiss. I'll hold the trophy.
This will be a lot of fun too, Larry.
All right, hang on to that trophy. That weighs more than all of us put together, I think. Trophy finds a new home. I'm going to have to find me a new team out here to represent me. I don't know where Jacobs is at, but I'm going to have a talk with him. I can see that. Okay, we're going to pull out the sprint cars coming up. Let's get this car out. We're going to be ready to go. We got 3 heats right in a row. Tom, take it over.
Thank you, Dave. Colin Germain will be back in that number 7 NASCAR Charger just a little bit later on in tonight's program. A 15-lap Charger race coming up is an extra added attraction to your Tri-State Sprint Championship tonight. Teresa Blythe, wow, what a job you did, lady. I imagine you made Mr. Camp just that much more nervous here with regard to how readily available replacements are when it comes to flag waving time. So Colin Germain back out in that number 7 racer, 15-lapper a little bit later on. All the owner-operators who were kind enough to let us run the risk here in our celebrity race this evening.
There, the Mexico, or El Paso driver, along with another El Paso driver, Carlos Ibarra, had Branch a transplanted. I understand he moved to L.A., but he's lived in Mexico. And we have Richard driven in the 70 car.
I've never heard of her before.
I'd like to hear something about Waddell, Arizona.
I know one thing, if Denise is out there, well, it says 11 car. I don't see the 11 car out there. But I'll have to say one thing that I do know about her, she's got more guts than I do.
I don't know. She's made her way out now.
That is Dennis Smith. Thank you anyway. But
Dennis Smith.
I recognize the car now, and I recognize the man's name was Dennis that drove that. I'm reasonably sure that's correct. We ought to have a good race here. I see with Griffin starting in the back in the red number 70 car, the Smith Exxon car. He'll have to work his way through just the top three or four make it into the main. I'm not sure exactly which. Ed French is right up there in the second row. He's a good racer. He raced at Manzanita last week and made a good account of himself. He's sitting right next to Carlos Ibarra. I've seen him listed from El Paso. I've also seen him listed from Juarez, I guess, for those people that like to have an international flavor to their race. They call him from Juarez. Oh, and they just got over somebody's wheel there, and we got a green flag.
Off and running, and a good charge being put on to the early on. You heard, I think, Woody, Dave Maness earlier on pronounced this track as fiddle fit this evening. These guys are making it look like that's the case, too, aren't they?
Griffin makes a big move into third. David Waring from El Paso leading. There goes Griffin into second, and chasing the leader, Dave Waring. Griffin's from Las Cruces. Waring is from El Paso, Texas, and just made a mistake. The one that cost him the lead, I would assume. Not yet.
Not quite. I'll tell you, Griffin has given us a whale of a tremendous show here in 1987. It has been a pleasure watching him do his flying in that machine, and he's looking real good right now in that second position and trying to close things up. Looks like he's got the job done, taking the lower side of turn 4, and sure enough, he has not only taken over the lead, but vaulted into the lead in that red Racing number 70 machine.
Tom, we were talking earlier about hitting the right setup, and obviously Dave Waring didn't. He's doing a heck of a job driving a car that don't want to make the turn there.
Look at that, up there in turn 4. He struggled with that 9N machine. Waring, as you were talking about the problems he was encountering, it was so obviously and so visible as you could see him taking it high in turn 4 and having plenty of problem keeping it under control. Conversely, Griffith there is just running away with it at the front of the class now, almost at will.
Griffith leading over Ed French. With Waring in third and Carlos Ibarra fourth.
Racing under the harvest moon, as Woody says, here on an October 10th night. And again, thanks for coming out, being a part of our Raven Raceway family. And what a dandy way to start things out this evening as George Camp gives Griffith the white flag indicator of 1 lap to go. He's got this one all locked up.
Griffin putting a lap on 86 Rookie of the Year Gary Williams from Phoenix.
And taking the checkered flag, the first of the evening of our Tri-State Sprint Championship. Ed French, 7S, running second in this one, and Dave Waring with that 9N car taking third with Carlos Ibarra, who did list with us tonight, Woody. He put down on the identification card that it's Juarez, Mexico, so we truly do have an international flavor to kick things off here this evening.
Right.
California there in the 71 machine on the pole. Rookie Kenny Webster next to him. Boat and Markham behind them. Irwin and Roberts in row 3. And Mike Lopez, 79 rather, rounding out the field as they come around now under the harvest moon. I love the starts in this division.
I do too. And I don't envy anybody that's starting looking at that back into that 71 car.
Here they come. They've got the green flag. What are they going to do? Coming out of turn 4 at the head of it, Wayne Bennett trying to get an early feel for that machine tonight.
Billy Boat charges into second and is right on Bennett's heels. Bobby Markham has moved into third and is challenging for the second spot.
A good challenge, he'll make it if what we have seen out of him in the past is represented in his driving personality and style here tonight. He's always one of those assertive, aggressive types. Bobby Markham in third falls into that same category. Wayne Bennett, obviously, at the head of this class is definitely among the assertive and aggressive type.
Randy Roberts coming on, challenging Bobby Markham for the 3rd spot. Randy started back towards the back and has moved his way into 4th, challenging Bobby Markham.
These guys putting on a good show both through Heat 1 and thus far here in the 2nd heat race this evening for the Sprint Car Tri-State Championship Series.
Bennett still leads over Boat, Markham, and Roberts, who takes a good look at the outside fence.
Tell you, Fast Eddie is represented in quite a few of these machines here tonight, not the least of which is the Wayne Bennett number 71. Kenny Webster about to find himself lapped by Bennett, Boat, Markham, and Roberts. Lap number 6 is what your leaders are rolling into right now. Bennett leading him to lap number 6, your 2nd heat race of the evening.
Bennett and Boat get a lap on Kenny Webster. Kenny's taking a lesson out there right now. White flag for Bennett.
Only way to learn, isn't it? Bennett in the last lap of dashing his way to the victorious checkered flag, your 2nd winner of the evening, if he can hang on to what he has built up so well, and it doesn't look to be in jeopardy. In fact, Wayne Bennett races to the checkered flag first.
And Billy Boat follows him, and ahead of Bobby Markham and Randy Roberts.
Pretty much how they got themselves lined up with about 3 or 4 laps to go, and then just drive it off.
5th place will go to Tucson's Sonny Irwin. So Tucson drivers finishing 3rd and 5th in that heat race, with San Pedro, California finishing 1st.
Cal Landis, a happy owner right now, the owner of the car that Wayne Bennett planted in victory lane for the 2nd time here this evening. 1st for him, but 2nd one of our evening. A nice little evening of racing action as far as our Tri-State Championship of sprints is concerned for you. The points ever so important coming into this one tonight and also going out of this one this evening. And again, good to have all of you here tonight as a part of it. Our growing Raven Raceway family in 1987. Heat number 3 about to unravel for you. George Camp giving him the finger, indicating he anticipates this will be the last circuit before he waves the racing green, and off we go a-running for a 4th time this evening, counting the celebrities, and they should count. Boy, Jack, I thought you were going to do it again. Only in a different machine tonight. Then you'd have been on 2 lists. Probably is anyway. Uh-oh, George Camp. When he gets that fist coiled up and resting on his right hip, you know he is not happy. He doesn't like a lack of communication with these guys, and so he's going to give him one more chance. Gordon Cole in 34 on the pole as they get the racing green, and here we go. Off and running once again, Lonnie Sherman getting the early jump in that number 17 car, and Baldinger into the lead up by turn 1, and now running ahead of Gordon Cole and company, the rest of the field. So far, and I hope it's indicative of the entirety of this evening, it's been a clean and yet an aggressive style of racing so far, but it's always neat to see it done lean, clean, and green. Hey, Woody?
Gary Bradley running in 3rd spot with Mick Papano 4th and Dave Lucas 5th. Sherman seems to like the feel of that 17 car. This is his 2nd ride in it, and he's looking real good way out front ahead of Gordon Cole and Gary Bradley.
Yeah, he took that early jump that he got. He is simply padded to it, with Cole giving the best chase he can right now, or so it would appear in 34, but running the risk up there of almost getting passed in turn 2. He's able to stave off his closest competition and also at the same time worry about how he's going to close it up on Mr. Sherman.
Gary Bradley keeping the pressure on Gordon Cole. He moves to the inside, can't quite make it.
Bradley in 4th place again, in case you missed it earlier, coming in to tonight's action, 4th place in the point standings.
Bradley moves to the inside, makes a challenge, can't quite get it done.
Lap number 6 for Lonnie Sherman. He'll lead him into it. He's in a race all by himself. And these two in a race by themselves for 2nd place. Cole and Bradley running a goodly distance behind your leader, Lonnie Sherman.
Sherman putting the lap on the two back markers, takes the white flag.
In traffic to boot. So he's a lap away.
And Bradley gets by into 2nd place ahead of Gordon Cole.
Bradley, a good battler from what we've seen here in 87, and he's indicating that again to us tonight. He's come to run from Las Cruces, New Mexico, the checkered flag, and sure enough, it's all Lonnie Sherman in this, your 3rd heat race of the evening for the sprint guys. Bradley and Cole running 2-3 to Lonnie Sherman here.
A good race for Lonnie Sherman in the number 17 car, taking the win ahead of Gary Bradley in 97 and Gordon Cole in number 34. Mick Papano in 91 was 4th, and car 14A Dave Lucas 5th. A good showing of cars tonight. We have the top 10 in the tri-state points with us. Ted Lee from El Paso's 11th. He's not here, but then we have 12th and 13th with us. A good field, 21 cars in the pits.
And again, in case you missed it earlier, George Camp and Bob McKinley, left to right up there in our flagman starter stand tonight, doing their job as they have superbly, I think, just about each and every date across this inaugural 87 campaign. Jack Jacobs, I'm happy to report, is among the survivors as we get geared up for our 15-lap NASCAR Charger race with the owner-operators themselves putting on the show. In other words, Ray Hansford in the 77X machine, Ron Bishop in 98, John Van Horn in the number 1 car, Herb Penrod's 777 machine, Don McMurrick in the 06 car, otherwise you may know that as the Spudsmobile. Norm Metcalf will be driving the 62 machine that you may have become familiar with William Harless being a part of. Bob Pennington in the 15 machine, Colin Germain in number 7, Tony Izzo in the 02 car, Larry Artman in 99, Lucky Larry Davis in 77, and David Henkin in the number 69 machine. So that's your starting grid work for these guys, your NASCAR Chargers, a part of our Tri-State Sprint Championship show tonight. Turn 3 has been a problem for you, Mr. Jacobs.
Yes, it sure has. I only have one thing to say about that race, Tom.
And what's that?
I'm so ashamed.
As well you should be. Why do I have to be so cooperative at a time like this? Right?
That wall just likes me. I don't know why. All right, George Camp, that's enough out of you on the radio. Ray Hansford in 77X, your pole sitter. Ron Bishop on the outside of him. That was that car that I was driving. Now let's hope Ron can hang on to that thing just a little bit better than I did. Van Horn inside, 2nd row. Herb Penrod 777 outside of that 2nd row. Then you have McMurray, Norm, Metcalf, and Pennington, and Colin Germain, Tony Izzo, Larry Artman, Larry Davis, and David Henkin for a 15-lap NASCAR Charger event.
Under the harvest moon, they come to impress flagman starter George Camp. And he's got the green flag all ready to fly them if they're in kind of a kosher stance when he's ready to go green. And as he's ready, so are they.
Oh, look at that. Bishop jumps out in front down the front straightaway, Tom.
So we know it's not the car.
Well, wait a minute. He hasn't made a lap yet.
Just working you over, sir. Ron Bishop in 98. Up front and all by himself, or so he would like to think. John Van Horn in number 1 would like to think otherwise. And he might just yet. Let's see as they come around. We've got our first and early yellow of the evening with a 2-car fray up there between turns 1 and 2, but it is able to move off under its own steam, so to speak. So we're looking at a complete restart, I would guess, with a not full completion of lap number 1. Ron Bishop up front, John Van Horn behind him, Herb Penrod in that 777 machine, and Tony Izzo. Ray Hansford in 77X.
Well, I talked to Bill Harless in that number 62 car this week. Tom invited him out for the celeb race, and he said that he broke his leg. And I said, oh, that's tough luck, Bill. We'll get you next time. And he says, oh, no, I'm coming out to race. But he just didn't feel up to it tonight. He would have raced it. If he could have got in that car with that broken leg, he'd be pedaling it out there right now. But George Camp tells him, side by side, fellas, complete restart flag is out. That's what Bob McKinley has in his hand, that yellow and red flag. They did not complete 1 lap under the green, as Tom mentioned just a short while ago, so we'll restart this one completely. Ray Hansford at 77X will still be your pole sitter, and Van Horn will be on the outside of him. Now, it's Ray Hansford's job to pace the car. It's also John Van Horn's job to stay next to Ray Hansford. And as George sees fit, as they come around that turn number 3 and 4, he'll put the green flag out if they look to his liking. And Ray Hansford's bringing him around real slow this time. Let's see if Bishop tries to put another move on him.
Well, that moon just keeps changing its personality and shape up there. A sideshow here at Raven Raceway on a Saturday night in October. Harvest Moon racing at Raven Raceway, and we've got the racing green one more time. Here they come with Ron Bishop in the lead, John Van Horn, and Herb Penrod rounding out your top 3. But they've got company up there in turn 1, and a couple of quick and slick passes put on, not the least of which is Bob Pennington taking the low road out of turn 1 and winding up in 4th place in the early on of this one. So let's see if he can tighten it up any on Ron Bishop and Colin Germain. Boy, what a quick move in that number 7 machine, too. I guess Larry Miles got it warmed up good enough for him, huh?
He sure did. Colin says he's got the car put together and he's ready to race tonight, and that's exactly what he's doing as he's on Ron Bishop's tail going into turn number 3. Here they come out of 4. Colin goes on the inside and overtakes Bishop. Bishop goes a little bit wide. Colin holds it on the brim and gets about a car length on him. Wow, that was some close, exciting action. But look at Bishop now, Tom, trying to do the same move that Colin did.
And Van Horn, content for the time being at any rate, in 3rd position to sit there and watch Bishop and Germain battle it out. Wonder if and when he's going to get his opportunity from position number 3. He's trying to close it up pretty well right now, taking a little bit lower groove out of turn 4 and into the grandstand area. But Colin Germain looking awfully good now once again, as he has quite often this season.
Well, he runs into a little bit of traffic, but Ray Hansford just keeps it on the inside and goes real slow as Germain overtakes him and has a clear view of the front straightaway. Nothing in front of this fella. Colin Germain at car number 7, our 2nd in point standings here at Raven Raceway this year.
Bishop's been impressive himself, the 98 car driver across this year, as is Bob Pennington. Points leader a goodly portion of the way. Well, that one just seemed to come to an instant stop.
Well, but he had a rod knocking on that vehicle. That's why we didn't put it in the celeb race, and evidently he just lost that engine, Tom. That's why you see that oil out on the racetrack.
Locked up in a hurry, and I was hoping everybody coming up from behind would see it in time, and sure enough, they were able to get the job done. One of the advantages of having some 6 months of racing under your belt, as we do now, we being Raven Raceway. Still programs available for you in our program video booth, lower right rear of the grandstand area. Head on down. You got your lucky program number on the rear cover, lower left-hand corner. Secure it, hang on to it, have it handy, because we'll be giving away goodies throughout the evening, not the least of which are Subway Sandwiches Fresh Baked Buns t-shirt.
Fresh baked buns, huh?
Fresh baked.
All right.
As opposed to not so freshly baked buns. We also, Larry Miles, who won our celebrity race and snatched the trophy, has come up here with a 96 Rock t-shirt that he has added to our goodies list. And the t-shirt, I think, courtesy of Linda Manus, is already drifted down to the program video booth, which is where, by the way, you not only pick up your program, but later on when we call your LPN, your lucky program number, you get that down there too. The Acme boots from Paul Montgomery, Cactus Boot and Shoe Repair, sitting right here in the announce tower. And those will go to tonight's big sprint winner.
Well, here they come once again. George Camp gives him the green, and Colin Germain leads him down the front straightaway.
Germain, Bishop, and Van Horn, your top three, with Bob Pennington and Henkin in 69, getting a bit of a problem there with lucky Larry Davis, but able to stave it from getting into those tires up there in the interior of turn one. And Germain right back to his old annex, Jack. He's opened it up considerable for one lap into the resumption of this one.
Oh, look out, Ron Bishop. And looks like Bishop might have died out as,
I think he wore it out, Jack.
Into the pits he goes. And
he's going to make a spectator of himself, and Penrod gets a wild and woolly ride into the infield area with some flares flying into that car, so we'll keep a close eye on that as Germain comes by in 7 with a big pad now build up on his nearest competitor, that in the form of that man there in number 1, John Van Horn. Bob Pennington in 3rd place, and Henkin, who had a bit of a rough ride just moments ago, hanging in there in 4th place in this one.
Van Horn holding his own, but he's got a lot of company behind him as Pennington and Henkin and even Lucky Larry. Oh, Larry going just a little bit wide that time, and now he brings it back down. Look out, Lucky Larry in turn number 4. Oh, that was close.
And Germain in the lead just before him, almost overdriving it coming out of turn 4. What a particularly precarious position in the lead as they reach the halfway point of this 15-lap NASCAR Charger special for you this evening. Penrod there in the 777 car. Van Horn here in 1, trying to close it up on his leader, Colin Germain, but he's about a half lap back, Jack.
A half lap back, Jack. Thanks a lot, Tom. Tom Thumb.
Tommy Jeho.
Tommy Jeho. Jehovah. Here comes Van Horn leading the rest of the pack in 2nd position. Pennington trying to stave off Henkin in that number 69 car. Here comes 06 McMurrick, and McMurrick trying to overtake David Henkin. We've got 4 of them fighting for 3rd place right now. Pennington holding his own, though.
Including lucky Larry Davis, the 4th one in that group in the 77 car.
Well, here they come down the front straightaway. Once again, side by side. Look out, Lucky Larry, as he hits McMurrick, but McMurrick gets it back down the center of the racetrack. Another close call for Lucky Larry in 7.
Lap number 11. Leaving 4 to go, most comfortably for that guy there in number 7. Up in turn 2, Colin Germain. And that much of a lead on Van Horn now in 2nd place in the number 1 car. And then come the rest of the field. Norm Metcalf in the Bill Harless, ordinarily Bill Harless 62 machine. Tony Izzo in 07.
Well, the green flag stays out, and Colin Germain stays in front. Van Horn doesn't look like he's going to catch him unless Colin has a problem. Colin now trying to get around Larry Artman in that 99 car. He'll lap him this time.
Germain rolling into the 13th lap, so it's become a 2-lap dash now. White flag prepared by George Camp.
Look out.
Lucky Larry involved in that one not once but twice. as it rolled a second time into the second car, and that'll bring out the yellow once again.
So Colin Germain will have the gap closed up on him. Van Horn will wind up right behind him as the yellow flag is brought out. And the rest of the field, Pennington and Hankin, are pleased about that. I'm sure Colin Germain, with that comfortable lead, is not too pleased. But he's looking mighty fine on the racetrack tonight. Doesn't look like anybody's going to catch him. But it's not over till it's over, with a couple of more to go in this NASCAR Special Invitational race.
12 laps gone in this one, and as I think I have heard in your voice across the course of this campaign, you like it when they get bunched up here, don't you?
Yes, it makes it for a little more exciting show.
A 2-lap dash for the cash and goodies and whatnot when we resume here, prying them apart courtesy of Gary's Towing.
I want to know one thing, Tom Boyd. Were you laughing at me every time I head up toward turn number 4?
Not at all.
Not at all. Were you making fun of me?
I don't think I laughed or made fun of you even once.
I see people shaking their head. Yes. Now, come on.
No. They're putting you on, Jack.
Boy, Santa Claus is going to pass your house this year.
I wouldn't do that to a man who wears a horse on his shirt.
A horse on my shirt? Oh, is that a horse? I thought that was an alligator.
Where'd you pick that up? Texaco?
No, Home Depot.
The fire crew, Jack, in case you missed it earlier, the fire crew personnel here tonight are all Air National Guard crash rescue firefighters when they're not out here at Raven Raceway doing their thing. The Air Guard, a part-time job for them, and
hey, let's hear it for the fire crew.
I'm sure the fire crew does as good a job over there as they do out here all season long. It has been superb, hasn't it, folks?
That it has. I like to make them feel at home. Okay, are you ready, guys out there, fire crew? Are you ready? Ladder 7, engine 9. We got a kitty cat in the tree. I thought it was funny. That's the second time I've done that.
It's the second time it died, too.
I know. I feel like Johnny Carson.
What was that?
What was that about donuts, George Camp? Tell the fire crew they can go for donuts at Dunkin' Donut and watch how fast they move. Well, we really appreciate those guys being out here, though, especially tonight.
They're a great crew, as are the guys who... why is Camp doing that?
Because he was doing the violin, because they were harassing him a little bit.
It's also a nice group of guys are the Gary's Towing folks, and if you become inebriated tonight and need some help getting home, Gary's Towing does that, you know. They'll tow your car and you home. If you become too bomb blasted, you let Gary of Gary's Towing know, and he will help you out. And our medic folks too, boy, they've been Johnny on the spot all season long, and it's been a tougher season, it seems, in the neighborhood here of Raven Raceway than at Raven Raceway. How many times, at least 3 I can think of, where we've had to send them off to accidents on I-10 or Houghton Road or whatnot.
Right at the beginning of the season this year.
They're ambidextrous in that regard.
Well, we've only got 6 of them left. George Camp gives them the green flag. Let's see what happens now.
6 machines, 2 laps. Here we go. Colin Germain, Van Horn, and Henkin, followed by Pennington. Lucky Larry putting the move on to land it in 5th place here if he can get the job done, and he does.
The battle goes on for 2nd place right now as lap number 13 headed for the books right now. Henkin right behind John Van Horn. Can he overtake him?
Like Miles, when Germain's able to get that car in the lead, he's awfully tough to shake out of it, isn't he?
He sure is. Look at that. Lucky Larry bumping Bob Pennington. Takes him on the inside right now. Larry trying to overtake Pennington, but Pennington has about a half a horse more than Lucky Larry.
White flag flies, 1 to go for Colin Germain, who looks pretty doggone good right now with that short of an amount of time left. Van Horn and Henkin behind him and trying to close things up. Likewise, Pennington and Davis. Your top 5 is Colin Germain brings it around for the dual checkered flags of Raven Raceway, as presented by flagman starter George Camp. Colin Germain in the book in this one. Van Horn staves off Henkin in the battle for 2-3, and Pennington on an 11th hour pass of Lucky Larry Davis to round out your top 5.
And Lucky Larry Davis had him there coming out of turn number 3 just for a minute. That was a good, close, exciting finish. Colin Germain wins it. John Van Horn winds up in second position. David Henkin in 69 in third. Bob Pennington in number 15 winds up in fourth place. Lucky Larry Davis, with his luck running out this time, winds up in fifth. And Larry Artman in number 99 winds up in sixth place. Hey, he can hear you in the pits, folks. Let's give him a whale of an applause. Car number 7, Colin Germain. Good job of driving by Mr. Colin Germain. Well, I'll tell you, he come in second place this year in the Raven Raceway point standings in the NASCAR Charger division, just 2 points behind that car number 15, Bob Pennington. And we'll all see him at our banquet coming up in November.
All you do is set the dial at 96.1. It's there.
96.1. From 93.7 leaves what?
Yeah.
2 point something.
Couple of them.
We're going to have to name you like Lucky Larry behind the wheel of 77. You're becoming, as a result of tonight, something of Lucky Larry Miles, huh?
George Camp says no, no, no. Wayne Bennett getting out of line just a little bit, doing somewhat of a Texas start. Richard Griffin, your pole sitter, going a little bit slower than Wayne on that one. And George Camp says, no, not this time, fellas. Let's try it once again. The Trophy Dash, 4 cars, 4 laps. Off the 4 corner they come. Camp gives him the green. Griffin jumps out in front as Wayne Bennett goes wide and tries to overtake Mr. Richard Griffin. Bennett right behind Griffin right now and looking mighty fine, hanging in there. Griffin holds it down the center of the racetrack along with Wayne Bennett. Here comes Randy Roberts and Billy Boat in 17X.
Griffin, when he gets in that position, is always difficult to go out and nail down, but if there's anybody can do it, Wayne Bennett looking pretty good right now in that second place position, and certainly within striking distance, Jack.
That he is, Tom. He's just hanging right in there, right behind Griffin. But there's not too many left. I see the white flag in George Camp's hand, a 4-lapper. Richard Griffin in number 70. If he can just hang on one more lap, he's going to wrap this Trophy Dash up. Bennett's going to have to make a move right now. Let's see if Bennett can do anything. As 17X, Billy Boat heads it into pit field. Nope, doesn't look like Bennett's going to catch him. Richard Griffin in that car number 70 wins the Trophy Dash as Wayne Bennett in 71 comes in second place. Randy Roberts in 5D in third, and Billy Boat into the pits with a 15 30 second for Richard Griffin. Here he comes down the front straightaway. Let's give him a great hand, folks. Richard Griffin. Boy, this guy is something else, Tom.
Flashy flying Richard Griffin. All season long, when he's been able to make the swing over to our plant, he has been most impressive. And getting a few words with him, hot off of that hot ride, front and center we go to Mr. Raven Raceway, Dave Maness. David?
Here we go. This is our local hero. Seems like he's been Richard Griffin back in action again. I know all of you have seen him run here before. He's won the first 2 sprint car main events that was ever held here. Linda? Oh, okay. She's giving me one of them hand signs. Like, oh, Richard, how you doing, buddy?
Doing pretty good tonight, I think.
Look like you're hooked up super neat.
Yeah, the car's working excellent. Everybody's been doing real good. Track's super good and should be a hell of a feature.
This racetrack has really come around. And my hat's off to Cliff Martin. Did a heck of a job this week. Trophy girl coming down here. Whoa, whoa, over in front of the car. They want you over in front of the car. She's losing her shoes. They're sticking in the mud. Trophies. We want to thank RV Awards for the trophies all year. They've done a fantastic job with all of our trophies, and We have a special trophy we're going to give away after tonight. We only got the main event winner, but we have the series winner, which is real important. And this guy's in the hunt for it right now, real close. Tom Boyd, if you can give me some information up there, where's Richard stand right now as this point thing is going on?
Right now, Dave, after the trophy dash, he has got 226 points. That puts him ahead of that Keel machine by 2 and within 4, excuse me, of Randy Roberts.
4 points from the Big Bo. How about that, Richard?
Well, we're gaining. We had a little bad luck at the last race in Manzanita. We'd won the first 2 features in the series, and we were leading the one at Manzanita, and we thought we were looking pretty good, and then we had motor problems and fell out of that. And so that hurt us real bad, and then coming here tonight, we had quite a ways to come, and so far everything's been going our way, and hopefully we can do good in the future.
Well, boy, we're looking forward to it. We've got a fine action tonight. Richard Griffin won the first 2 races in this Tri-State Series. He won Las Cruces, he won El Paso, and then blew the motor and Manzanita, and has come back to be within 6 points of jumping into the lead here. He might be the lucky gentleman who takes home a bonus check of $2,000 tonight out of $10,000 that was posted between Las Cruces, El Paso, Manzanita Speedway, and Raven Raceway for an overall champ fund. And that's what delivered all these guys from all these different states here. So that's what big money's racing for the wing sprinters, and we're glad to have you here. Good luck to you in the feature. We're going to need a push truck for you, ain't we? No starters in this deal. But anyways, how about a nice round of applause? Richard Griffin, winner of our trophy dash. We also want to inform you, they've been turning 15-second laps out here tonight, and that's really getting around this place, I'll guarantee you. We got a midget coming out here. It's going to run about 4 laps. We're going to intermission. Enjoy yourselves for a little while. We're going to have some question and answers down here in the front straightaway with some of the other promoters. We're going to take a nice intermission. We got a real nice weather condition, beautiful skies. We haven't seen too many of them this year, but boy, tonight's sure picture perfect. I want to thank you all for coming out. So enjoy yourselves. Get yourself a hot dog or a hamburger, and we'll be back in a little bit.
Our hot laps and track packing portion of tonight's program, perhaps a little bit later on this evening, or you folks can take that away on your questions and answers coming up at our intermission interrogatory time. What kind of fine-tuning and tweaking is he talking about regarding the 4 months or so that we are off in between 87 and 88 seasons? Buddy Nelson in the USAC midget number 11. Second time out with this new machine. Not real happy with what they were able to produce out of the old one here in 87, and so they're already beginning to shake her down and make what they feel are the appropriate necessitated changes before re-cranking it in the 88 campaign. Buddy gets on it. He and his brother Doug giving us a pretty good effort from our standpoint, our perspective, I think, here in 87. And, of course, Clyde Nelson, Father Nelson, standing firmly behind his boys and a big help throughout each and every of their endeavor. Turning 18s, says Tony Barrow. Shaking it down in a lot more than just 1 or 2 ways here, trying to find the bugs, shake them out of there before coming back and getting into it in 1988.
Raven Raceway in particular. Then head on down to the Victory Lane gates, located there just to the right and rear under the flagman starter stand. Meet up there with Jack Jacobs, and he'll do a little preliminary scan of the questions that are coming forth this evening.
Dave Maness, it's all set for you, sir. Take it away.
All right. We're going to get ready for these question and answers. It's intermission time, so get down and stretch your legs a little bit. Got a 30-lap main event coming up. We're going to be a little bit going through intermission. Got a couple things we're going to do down here. I would like Bob Swenson and Tommy Black, would you please come down here to the front straightaway, and Woody Wibbenson? Introduce you to a gentleman here, Paul. Paul, this is Paul Lusart. He's from El Paso. He owns midgets. He owns sprint cars. In fact, he owns the sprint car that many of you were here that night that took that wild ride down here over the fence, and the guardrail got his door shut off a little bit. Well, I know, but the great fans here did you a little favor, didn't they?
Yes, they did, and we appreciated it, all of you fans.
They took a collection up here, and I think they got about $400 or $500 hard luck money, and it helped put his sprinter back together. But he's not here for that reason. Here for a very special reason. Our local guy, Jerry Coons Jr., who many of you know up there, is probably one of the finest talent we have coming out of Tucson right now, undoubtedly. His father is here. Jerry Sr., who has been very instrumental in promoting midget racing this year and helping with a lot of things that we've done in promotional-wise. And Paul has a special announcement here to make, and I'd like you all to listen and very much appreciate it.
Ladies and gentlemen, this young man standing alongside of me is the midget champion for 1987 at the Mesilla Valley Raceway. He beat them all. I don't spend a lot of time kissing boys, so I'm going to let Jennifer Van Horn present his trophy. Jerry Coons Jr. Just give him a big kiss, honey.
It's his girlfriend, I think. Jerry, Senior, I know this is your first year of really getting running a lot. We've promoted racing here in town, and you've been very instrumental in helping the midget races, along with Bob Hibner and Ronnie Bream, and those guys that are just working their hearts off. Last weekend, for you people who wasn't here, we had 44 midgets here. We had 16 cars towed all the way from L.A., some of the finest talent in the United States. And, boy, it was a heck of a show, and Jerry put on a pretty good show himself. He ran second in the USAC main event last week. He had won 2 weeks prior to that, I believe it was, wasn't it?
Yeah, he ran 1 2 weeks prior to that, and he's got 2 seconds in a row. And last Saturday night, he ran second to Sleepy Trip. And if any of you know who Sleepy Trip is, that's no disgrace to run second to Sleepy Trip.
Well, that's for sure. I think you have somebody you'd like to especially thank did some motor work for you. Put that old scrapper back together. Jerry was running second in the main that night too, wasn't he? And closing on the lead the week before, and he got the checkered flag here, and he stopped over there in the back straightaway and left iron all over the racetrack. Blew the motor, didn't it?
Yeah, well, the next week, Bob Hibner and I, we built a scrap iron motor, we call it. We took some of his stuff and some of Clyde Nelson's stuff and some of mine, and Wayne Wilder brought us down a crank from Phoenix, and we put the motor together and got it running on Friday night, brought out here and ran second, and that's the motor we're going to run with the rest of the year for the other 3 races we have here.
Maybe I'll build some more of those, huh?
Yeah, we're going to try it.
Yeah. Anyways, how about a nice round of applause for Jerry Coons Jr. Tucson talent wins the New Mexico Championship. And he's got a real good shot right now. We got 3 more USAC midget shows here in Tucson. He's currently, I believe, 3rd in points. He's not far out of the lead there. Ernie Payne, I believe, is 2nd in points, another Tucson guy. Dave Culp, I believe, is leading in the USAC points. So it's tightening up to be a real tight point race. I'll introduce some of these gentlemen to you. The gentleman in the shorts, Bob Switzer from El Paso, Texas. He is the promoter of the racetrack over there, which I've run at. Is a fine facility, too. We got Tommy Black here, who is the promoter at the Mesilla Valley Raceway. And I won one over there one night and still can't remember the name. And Woody Widmison is representing kind of Manzanita on this deal. After the main event tonight, we're going to try and calculate the points very fast. We have a team working on it now, and we're going to try and bring the top 10 out to present their checks for the cash overall win of the top and the points. Plus, we'll be presenting the winner of the main event their deal. And I want to thank Tommy and Bob Spencer. About 2 months ago, we sat down, and Keith Hall and myself and these two gentlemen have finished and talked about doing this tri-state deal. Had a kind of idea what we wanted to put together and see if we could draw some outside talent from other states to compete at 4 racetracks. And I'm real happy the way it turned out. Tommy, how about you?
You bet. We're going to sit down tomorrow morning and see if we can plan a couple more of them.
We do have that conference coming tomorrow. We're going to be meeting the 4 of us together looking at next year. We're kind of contemplating maybe doing 2 or 3 of these deals where we get a lot of this talent coming in here, and I think that's what the spectators appreciate most of all. And, Bob, you know, over in El Paso, how was the crowd reaction to the field you had there?
We had our stand just full as yours are. As many people we could sit down, and I'm telling you that we put on a show. When you get that many sprinters on one track, you will see a race, especially with a track like this. That's beautiful.
You like that, huh? Well, last week it was Dust Bowl. I don't know what happened, but this week we got a wet one. There's the gentleman right down there, Cliff Martin, who's responsible for doing all this. He even spun the water truck out twice today. I seen him once at 4 o'clock over here in the corner and lost control of it and landed down in the infield. And then he lost it once over here, and he finally got it gathered up. But, okay, we're going to do some questions and answers now. We have 2 of the other promoters here. Woody, if you'd like to come down and attend it, please come down. Any questions involving track promotion or maybe something out of the ordinary or talking about sprint cars or whatever, feel welcome to come down. We got some deals here we'll go through as we do every week. Name, sir?
Ron Raymond.
Where are you from, Ron?
Tucson.
What question?
When are the NASCAR late models going to be able to relate to the cars that are in the showrooms that we drive?
Boy, I tell you, I'm on your side. But, okay, that is a real good question, because a lot of you spectators have hit me with why they don't look like a T-Bird, why they don't look like a Chevy, and it's mainly because of the cost factor of not having steel bodies available that they can put on them. They do have replica fiberglass bodies and molds that they can use. The aluminum bodies they're using on the late models now is a major expense savings to them, because when they get dinged up, they just replace it with a piece of sheet metal. I think appearance-wise, I think you're correct. I don't know, take a little opinion here. How many people that do come out here and watch late models would rather see stock-appearing bodies on them versus the bodies they have on them now? Got your answer, huh? I don't know if I can do anything about it, though. Justin's Post-Time Pub at Craycroft. Got dinner for 2. Have a nice dinner on there.
Good tractor.
Thank you, sir. Next question. Name?
Martin Belden.
Question?
Dave, I've grown up around the tracks here, and I've seen the super modifieds and the sprints go from no wings to wings. What do you think about putting wings on the midgets? Really get them to go.
Well, that was a question Roger McCluskey and I went over last weekend when he was here in town. Roger says there will never be a wing on a midget, because that's the grassroots of auto racing. That's where it started with the A.J. Foyts and the Andretti's and everybody. I agree with him. I think as long as the safety factor can stay where it's at, and I'm not disagreeing with these gentlemen, because Tommy Black allows the wings in Las Cruces. But I think, you know, the insurance thing is a factor naturally, but I think we got a very safe racetrack, and hopefully that we won't have major injuries that would hope not to force that issue to ever come. As a driver myself, I can tell you, there's no comparison of driving a race car with a wing to without a wing. It's excitement-wise and thrill-wise, there's no comparison. You take the wings off, and it really gets your adrenaline going. So, anyways, yeah, here, Tommy Black's got a comment on that. I'm going to give we got 2 tickets for a coming up event, which I'm going to plug is a good friend of mine. Gary has rented a community center. There's going to be the Ice Speedway Champs Arena bikes back here, and they're going to run quad racers down there too at the Speedway in the community center. The date is November 20th. They have a 2-day show down there. Here is the first 2 tickets to the event. For 2 nights, you feel welcome to go down there. And we got a set of 1 pair of good Cocoa floor mats from Leo's Auto Supply. And Tommy had a response.
Thank you, Dave. Well, I've been promoting automobile racing since 1981. We've been running wing sprint cars since 1981. I have not filed 1 accident report since we put the wings on top of our little bitty toy. Thank you.
Yeah, and I know where Tommy's coming from. It's tough to be concerned with racers and safety, and the wings are very, very positive, cutting the major accidents and the major hurt down on drivers. When they do get upside down, they serve as a cushion, and but I still see the other side of the fence too. So anyways, next question. They're down there in turn 1 and turn 4 trying to clean the boards off a little bit so the guys have a little more depth perception. What's your name, son?
Sean Kidd.
Sean Kidd?
Yes.
What's your question?
What type of fuel do the sprint cars use?
They run methanol alcohol, which is a refined fuel that is not like gasoline or anything. It's a straight alcohol. Costs them about $2 a gallon, and it is very cold, like rubbing alcohol, and it helps keep the motors cool, and it also delivers excellent horsepower for the engines. How would you like to go watch the motorcycles run on ice down at the community center? There you go. There's 2 tickets for you, your family, or whatever. Be sure and take that in. That's going to be a superb show. Got another gentleman. What's your name?
How wide are you going to make the late models' bodies next year?
How wide?
Yeah.
I'm not going to make them any wider, that's for sure. If we're going to do anything, we try and narrow them up a little bit maybe. But the body styles on the late models are probably going to be just about what they are right now, with the exception of a few little things we're going to do on them. But we need to get the car count up real good right now so the people in the stands see a good field of racers every week. And if I go changing rules on them, the car count will go down, and we don't want to do that. 2 tickets to the motorcycle races down at the community center on ice. Name?
Herb.
What's your question, Herb?
When are they going to have the rules for next year out?
When they're going to have the rules for next year out? Well, I get asked this all the time. When I get a lease, right now I'm still working to get the county lease on this facility, and maybe within the next 30 days, as soon as I get the lease signed for the coming years, then I will sit down and produce the rules for next year, and it'll be the first time the racers had the rules before race season started, and that's real good because they need to know.
How long does it take?
How long does it take to make the rules? Not very long, because we're not going to change too much in our rules. There's 2 tickets for you, too, for the ice motorcycle races at the community center. Make sure your mom and dad get them, okay? Name?
Roger Garrett.
Question?
Do you guys have like a play day out here?
We haven't this year because of the massive construction and everything. Naturally, I've had to keep up with maintenance and things and changing things. Next year, we will have some practice nights that'll be available to the racers and stuff. But that'll have to be next year. 2 tickets to the ice races at the community center. Name?
Rick.
Question?
When are you going to have the meeting for the Chargers?
Be the probably the week after the next Charger race here, so we can notify everybody, which will be after the 17th, and it'll probably be at the Quality Inn, and it'll be a big meeting, and we're going to go over a whole bunch of things, and but that way everybody's got their rules straight during the winter, and they can work on their race cars in the winter instead of waiting for the last minute. Dinner for 2, Ireland's Post-Time Pub. Thank you. Name?
Ryan Mabry.
What's the question, Ryan?
How fast do the sprints go?
How fast do the sprint car goes? I would say probably on this racetrack, they're probably hitting about 110, 115, maybe just a little bit more. But running 15 seconds around here, they are really getting around this racetrack in a hurry. So some racetracks, they go faster than that. Some racetracks, they get up to 120, 140. Just depends on the size of the racetrack. Here's a pair of floor mats for your mom and dad's cars, so keep your feet clean. Name?
Darren.
Question, Darren.
How long has he been racing?
Who?
That guy that got the trophy.
Richard Griffin? How long has Richard Griffin been racing, Tommy?
He raced at our track. He started in 1981 out there, Mesilla Valley Raceway.
6 years. Not too long, huh? For being as good as the gentleman is. And I'll tell you something about Richard Griffin. He's a super sport and a super person that believes in promoting auto racing. I'd like to invite all of you tonight, too. Take the time. Well, the show will be done in plenty of time tonight. Go down and meet these guys. Look at these rigs and stuff that they've brought in here from all over the states. You'll really see some fantastic equipment down there and some great people. Here's some floor mats from Leo's Auto Supply for your mom and dad's car, too.
I got a question for you. Right over here, you. When are we going to see Dave Maness drive a midget here at Raven Raceway again?
You seen it last week.
Well, when are you going to drive the next show?
The next show?
Okay, that's good. You guys want to see Dave Maness drive his midget here again? Let me hear you say, yeah! Right here. Oh, where'd he drive his last one? Okay.
Everybody keeps giving me a hard time on that midget. I spun out last week. Hibner put me in the back. What's your name?
David Landis.
What's your question, Dave?
Are you going to have another tri-state championship here?
I think so. I think we're going to also maybe develop this with these two gentlemen and Keith Hall of Manzanita. I think we can get together, and if we can get the sprint car people in this state to cooperate a little bit, I think the promoters can get together. I think we can make some big purses for them, and if they quit playing politics and go racing, we'd see more race cars here, and we'd see more at Manzanita, and we'd see more at the other racetracks, and I believe firmly in that. Leo's Auto Supply, set of floor mats for you. Mom, Dad, appreciate that. Name, son?
Percival Styles.
What's the question?
Why do the tracks always have to be muddy?
Why do the tracks always have to be muddy? Well, because it gives them real good traction. And if it's not muddy, then the tires don't stick to it. See how your feet stick? That's what makes them go so fast. And if it was real dusty and dirty, they don't go near as fast. Does that answer your question?
It has to be muddy so I can head up toward that wall on turn number 4.
If it wasn't muddy, he wouldn't know how to get around here. There's some floor mats from Leo's Auto Supply. We want to thank Leo's Auto Supply for these things. Okay, just a second. I'm going to ask this. What's your name, son?
Aaron Williams.
Aaron Williams. What was your question?
Is Carl Trimmer winning in Phoenix?
Is Carl Trimmer winning in Phoenix? You betcha he is. He won last Saturday night. He clean swept and won the whole field down there. Won the main event, won the dash.
Carl Trimmer was also high point at Mesilla Valley Raceway this year.
3 championships in 1 year, 4 championships. He won the NASCAR Series. He's on a hot streak. The older he gets, the better he gets sometimes. Floor mats from Leo's Auto Supply. Okay? Thank you for coming down. Name?
Patrick Tucker.
Question?
When is the sprint car banquet?
Sprint car banquet. Jeez. They don't have one, I don't think. They might be having one in Phoenix. Anybody? Is there one in Phoenix this year? I heard a couple of yeahs, but due to all the confusion with the sprint car people, I don't know if they've really organized one, but it would be nice to have one. Our banquet, in reference to that, here's some floor mats for you from Leo's Auto Supply. The banquet for all the Tucson racers is going to be over here this year at Thurber Hall. We're inviting the public for the first time ever. Tickets will be available at the racetrack and Brassfield Auto Parts starting next week. They are $10 admission, $15 at the door. Live band. We got eats, goodies. We got trophies being done for all the NASCARs, the USAC midgets. We've got a super band over there, an old 50s band, and it's a huge hall. We can put probably 1,400 people in there. So if you'd like to attend, come out and have a good time with all the racers and the crews and the people in Tucson's really support it. We'd love to have you down there. Name?
Sammy Salazar.
What's the question, Sammy?
Why don't they announce? Why isn't there any coverage on TV or on newspaper?
Boy, he's got a good question. Why isn't there any coverage on TV or the newspaper for auto racing? I tell you, if people want to help out, look up a little letter. Take a postcard. Write down there you want to see some more sports action in the paper and stuff. I've been working very hard with the newspapers. They've done 100% better than they've ever done before with me. We got a long ways to go, but it takes you people up there to stir that interest. If you take a newspaper and you get the Citizen and the Star, let them people know you want to see more results printed in it. You come out here and watch your sport. Well, when they watch the golf tournament or baseball or football, they get their articles. I think we deserve it too. And so help me out. Leo's Auto Supply, set of floor mats. Is your father driving a race car? Oh, okay. Name?
Michelle Lane.
Question, Michelle.
When are you going to have the Western World here?
Oh. Well, I'll tell you what. We'll probably have one, but you got to give me a little time to work into it. But I think next year we're going to have, we're going to do a Western World for late models here next year. It might be a 3-day event. I plan on running the World of Outlaws here next year, if I can get the date there. And I'd like to do it when Phoenix is running their big shows so we don't hurt each other and we take advantage of all of them guys coming this way. I think next year will be the beginning of Raven Raceway into a very, very super facility that we can bring those big shows in here. And it's important. And we got a set of floor mats for you, too. Leo's Auto Supply. You with her? Okay. All right, she's your friend. Well, it's nice to have friends. You kids go enjoy yourself. Name, sir?
Chris.
Question.
What would happen if you increased the angle of the banks on the turns?
That's exactly what we're doing this winter. To answer your question, the track after we've been evaluating it the last couple months, looking at it, seeing what I want to do with it. We're going to flatten out the bottoms of the corners on both ends of the racetrack. We're going to fill the top a little more, and we're going to develop a dish up there where all the muddy area is now, which will get the race cars up on top. We have a little bit of a flat spot on the very top all the way around. We're going to take 18 inches off the straightaway and stuff. I think we'll get a faster racetrack even next year. And we're very interested. Clayton Nelson, who just had the midget out here, he constructed this racetrack, Nelson Construction, this winter. And they did a heck of a job for what we had to work with in making it. And boy, my hat's off to them because they come out here and work their fannies off. Set of floor mats from Leo's Auto Supply. Thank you very much, sir. Name?
Kevin Kelson.
Question.
How fast do the late models go?
How fast do the late models go? I think the late models are running around here, I believe. I don't know if Tom or somebody can confirm it. I think they're turning in the 17 seconds around here. 17s and 18s, if I'm not mistaken. The midgets have been in the low 17s and 16s. Sprint cars tonight are running in the 15-second bracket out here. Set of floor mats from Leo's Auto Supply. One more. This is the last one right here. Name?
Dan Lemus.
What's the question?
What was your worst crash here?
What was whose worst crash here?
What was the worst crash?
This year, the worst crash we've had this year was a gentleman by the name of Dave Burns, who flipped his midget about 4 or 5 times very hard over here and had a broken leg and all that, and he missed about 4 months of racing, and he's raced with these gentlemen at their facility, and he's a heck of a competitor. He's back in the race car. In fact, I think he ran third the other night. So that's been the worst one. We've had an excellent track record this year. Had very few people get hurt, just minor injuries. Jack Jacobs said he had the second worst one. I think he skinned his nose when he hit the wall over there or something. Set of floor mats from Leo's Auto Supply. Thank you to all of you. I want to say thanks to Tommy Black from Las Cruces for getting involved with this facility, as well as getting involved with El Paso and Manzanita. I think the 4 of us gentlemen will sit down tomorrow and we'll have some good talks, and maybe we can come up with some bigger and better sprint car shows, Tommy.
Thank you, Dave, and I'm looking forward to the 1988 racing season.
And not only that, Jerry Coons, midget champion at Las Cruces, New Mexico from Tucson. We love that, too. To you, Bob, thank you very much for coming. And I want to say thank you to two and wish you the best of luck at your speedway.
Thank you, Dave. Appreciate it.
And maybe next year, any of you fans are out running around, take in those 2 racetracks. They're good racetracks. Mr. Jacobs, what do you want?
Let's give this guy a big hand, folks, for the job that he's done this year.
I'm just doing my job, buddy, that's all. We're having fun, though, and I'll tell you, the last 3 or 4 weeks, we've really enjoyed the promotion. The weather's finally cleared up on us, and they ain't been trying to kill us every night. And makes it kind of fun when you can take a little bit of time and get involved with the spectators, such as we've tried to get involved with you people. But if it wouldn't have been for the crowds we had this year and the things that you've been consistent with coming out to this racetrack, everybody in town knows that it's never been done this way before. But if it wasn't for you spectators, it would have never been done this way. So thank you very much to all of you. I hope we can promote bigger and better shows for you. And we really appreciate your involvement with the facility, and your faith in good racing can be right here in Tucson. So have a good time tonight. We're going to roll the main event out in a little bit here, probably about 10 minutes. And you're going to get ready for 30 laps of whaling action.
Did you see him wave the flag? From Phoenix, Arizona, sponsored by Raleigh Precision Machine. Car number 40, Steve Raleigh.
The 99 machine, as you heard us talk earlier of, a rookie tonight in the car sponsored by the Truck Stop, Kurt's Hot Rod, Evergreen Hardware, and Arizona Race Mart Shop. From Phoenix, Kenny Webster at the wheel.
In the car number 28 from Tempe, Arizona, with no sponsor, but Cecilia Patterson is the owner of that vehicle. Car number 28, let's give him a warm welcome, John Patterson.
The 78 machine, sponsored by Fast Eddie's Engines, Phoenix Race Mart, Clark's Automotive, and Sylvester Lock and Key. From Phoenix, with Gary Williams driving.
From El Paso, Texas. Glad to have you out here, Mike, sponsored by Budweiser. Car number 79, all the way in from El Paso, Mike Lopez.
Next, the number 20 car, sponsored by Manzanita Gaming Association, Martin Apple. It's a Phoenix car with a Tucsonan at the wheel in Sonny Irwin.
In the car number 14A from Phoenix, Arizona, sponsored by Challenger Racing Engines. Car number 14A, Dave Lucas.
The 91 machine, sponsored by Fred's Auto Parts and Speed Mart. From Tempe, Mick Papano at the wheel.
In the car number 11A from Waddell, Arizona, or is it Phoenix? Anyway, he's sponsored by himself. Car number 11A, Dennis Smith.
The 14 machine, and proudly, it says on his registration form here, sponsored by himself. Kind of makes him an owner-operator, doesn't it? Kevin Surratt.
In the car number 50 tonight, sponsored by Ibera Machines. From Juarez, Mexico, Carlos Ibera.
In the 5D, sponsored by Conklin Enterprise Limited. From Denver, Colorado, Randy Roberts.
In the car number 71, one of my favorite numbers, sponsored by Fast Eddie Engines, Flame Out, Fire Protection, Birch Electric, and Century Signs. From San Pedro, California, the cars from Phoenix, Wayne Bennett.
The 17 car down from Mesa tonight, sponsored by Capital Clean All and Kraft Plumbing, with Lonnie Sherman at the wheel.
In the car number 34, sponsored by Budget Transmissions from Phoenix, Arizona. Thanks for coming, Gordon Cole.
The 9N machine, sponsored by Icard Newsom Propane and Tony Diaz, West Texas's Rookie of the Year in '86. From El Paso, they affectionately call him the Weasel, Dave Waring.
In the car number 7, trucking her in all the way from Dallas, Texas, sponsored by Frontier Ford and Stewart's Fabrication. Let's welcome Ed French.
In 3R, inside of that second row from Mesa, comes the car from Tucson, the driver, Bobby Markham.
on the outside pole position tonight for this 30-lap Tri-State Championship from Las Cruces, New Mexico, sponsored by Bird's Garage. Car number 97N, Gary Bradley.
And on the pole, behind the Rawlings Chrysler Plymouth pace car, sponsored by Smith Exxon and Stewart Fabricating, from Silver City, New Mexico, Richard Griffin.
And our pace car from Rawlings Chrysler and Plymouth, driven by Dave Maness himself tonight. Our pace car, which will lead him around for our 30-lap main event in the Tri-State Championship for the wing sprint cars. What a field of cars we have for you tonight. Good-looking automobiles.
I reckon. George Camp tells him one more. Richard Griffin, has he not brought you some great showing here in the 87 season? Gary Bradley, talking with him in the pits earlier tonight. He's come to run. Bobby Markham always does. Ed French, to round out your top four. Billy Boat takes you through 5. Gordon Cole, Dave Waring, Wayne Bennett, Lonnie Sherman, Carlos Ibarra. Your top 10 machines as we roll into the racing green, and your 30-lap main event is coming down on you on a Saturday night, ladies and gentlemen. And aren't you glad now you came to Raven Raceway tonight as we get all tangled up there in turn 2 to produce an early on cautionary yellow. So it'll be a complete restart in this one.
Who spun out over there? Randy Roberts, our points leader, involved in the little skirmish over coming out of turn 2. Surprising Gary Bradley beats Richard Griffin out of the corner on the start. We'll see if he can do it twice in a row. Bradley came here to race, evidently.
I think a number of them in this field, and in the top 10 in particular, Woody, have got the same intent in mind, and it goes beyond that too.
Right, like Dave was saying, there's a $10,000 point fund that's going to be divvied up here as soon as we get done with this race, and I think everybody out there wants a piece of it. David Waring is sitting over in the corner. Waring's bad luck in Arizona, still following him around, but possibly he can get going again and have a good finish in this main event.
So that will slide the Weasel Waring 9-in machine from its 7th place start to a last place restart stance, as Griffin and Bradley establish the pace up front. The Weasel makes his way around to tag the field. Flagman starter George Camp gives him the indication of one more at this pace, and then we'll be off and running again under that racing green.
If you're wondering, as I was, how in the world they line these cars up, because it doesn't look like it was by a heat race finish. The top 4 in each heat race, there's due numbers for their starting position. You can see that Richard Griffin's luck was pretty good, drawing the number 1, and Gary Bradley drawing the number 2 starting position. Randy Roberts, the points leader, not having that kind of luck, drawing the number 9 pill.
Well, we've
Here
got
we go
a restart.
again, and Gary Bradley does it again.
Boy, look at that shifting. Wow. Bradley dicing his way into the lead.
The track in great shape. You'll watch these cars, they'll probably jerk the front end right off the ground as they come around through turn 3 and 4.
Dave Maness is early.
Oh, look at a wheel stand by Griffin. Does anybody doubt the horsepower now? Watch Griffin. He pulled a wheelie down the front straight last time. Not this time. Ed French runs it in 3rd spot. We have a car up against the outside wall. We'll try to get a number for you. Yellow flag.
It will produce the yellow because he is going to run out of steam down here. Griffin popping a wheelie there, Woody, coming out of turn 4. I think mostly out of frustration because these guys don't like to see that ambered yellow. We are 2 laps into this one now, though. So 28 remain. Not only are you able to see those, but you're able to feel it here with this thundering herd come flashing by tonight, Woody. Wonder what the collective horsepower is. We'd have to sit down with a computer, I suppose, or at least a calculator to figure it all out. But boy, when you wind it all up and let it go in one fell swoop with these startup greens, it is like a thundering herd.
That is a fact. Those, well, you can hear estimates all the way from 600 to 1,000 horsepower, depending on what you want to believe.
And who you want to believe.
And who you want to believe. Car 17X, Billy Boat, the fourth place car in points, sitting up against the wall with a push truck behind him.
You may hear some certain of our officials here in the booth in the background, radio communications, trying to get them sorted out with their management official counterparts located down at trackside. That's always an interesting sidebar of the racing scene itself, is while the yellow is out, is watching and listening to the officials, try to get them sorted out all neat and proper. There's never, seemingly never enough time to get the job perfectly done, but they give it a great effort. Tony Barrow in particular.
Griffin obviously planning for a dry track later on, and he's got what is referred to as a tight setup on his car. That's what's causing the wheelies. Of course, if the track dries out, his car will be getting traction where the others won't be, if he hasn't worn the tires out yet.